What's going on, everybody? Mill here with another post game. Welcome back to Big Nick Energy YouTube channel. Unfortunately, this post game is a loss. The Knicks lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder 129 to 120. Didn't want to do the post game with a loss, but here we are. The last few minutes of that fourth quarter, there was just no effort. Specifically, the last 3 minutes, there was no effort. Things changed, unfortunately, and I just basically blame this loss on Coach Thibodeau. I'm going to break it down specifically why, because there's a lot to get through. A lot of reasons why we lost this game, but specifically, we had a chance to win this game. We weren't down by too many points, but around 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, Coach Thibs decides to sub Manuel quickly out for RJ Barrett. And I'm not trying to throw any shade at RJ, but as soon as he came in, everything changed and we just went down. The effort was down. Everything changed and we couldn't win the game after he subbed in, and I believe that is Coach Tibbs' fault for subbing him in at that moment. I think Emmanuel quickly should have stayed in the game with 4 minutes left to go. He had 22 points in 24 minutes. He was doing great, honestly, and he just should have stayed in that game, closed out the game. Would have loved to see how the game would have been different if he decided to close out the game, but it was up to Coach Tibbs at that point. He made the final call. He made the decision to put RJ in. Ultimately, it lost us this game. It's really unfortunate because we were climbing our way back. We were down most of the game, but in that fourth quarter, we had something going, and it looked like we were going to climb back, but then when RJ subbed in, immediate turnover. We gave them their 3-point. They had a few 3-pointers in the last few minutes, and then that was it. 129-120. That was final score. Just looking at the team stats here, we had 18 turnovers in total, which is completely awful. 18 is way too many. You're not going to win many basketball games having 18 turnovers in a game. Just can't happen. And compared to them, they only had 4. You know, it wasn't a sloppy game on both ends of the court. It was just on our end of the court, which makes it extremely hard on us to climb back after being down. When they're not turning the ball over, it's just us. Yep, Jonathan's right. Unfortunately, I said it at the beginning, I blame Coach Tibbs for this loss. He was stubborn. I don't know why he decided to sub out quickly. And I'm not saying that the loss was just on him, but he's a big part of the last few minutes, the effort in that last few minutes. Should have kept Quick in at crunch time. I agree. I mean, we won't know if it would have been the same outcome with him in there. It could be the same outcome, but we don't know. We've seen IQ close a few games with that starting unit. There's been some success there, and IQ was having success tonight. He had 22 points. He was doing great. He was providing a spark for us, and I literally tweeted that he was saving us. He really was. The spark he was providing for us off the bench, he was providing the offense that we didn't have at the moment. And when he got subbed out, I immediately was just questioning Thibodeau. What was his thought process there? And it's not like I was rooting for RJ to fail, but immediately when RJ comes in the game, there's a turnover right there. And the vibe just changed. Everything changed. The momentum was now on the Thunder side, unfortunately. Teresa said, you are right. RJ taking so many bad shots from the 3-point line. Yeah, that's another thing there. Keeping Quickly in would have been better because he's a better 3-point shooter than RJ at the moment. RJ was 0 for 6 before being subbed into the game. He did make 1 3 in those last final minutes, but it didn't even matter at that point when he made that 3. The game was already over. What's up, Brandon? I know, very tough loss tonight. It was frustrating to watch them turn the ball over 18 times. My goodness. It was way too much. I mean, they had 10 in the first half too, so it was nearly split even between both halves. Not a good game at all by them. And I'm surprised they didn't lose by more, honestly. We only lost by 9 points. But for having 18 turnovers, we should have lost by more, honestly. RJ was a brick. He was pretty good in the first half. I think he kept us in this game in the first half, but late game substitutions, unfortunately, he shouldn't have been in there. He was missing a lot of threes though, which killed us. I think he was like 1 for 7 at the end of it. I'm gonna check in the box score right here. Let's see. Yeah, he was 1 for 7 from the 3-point line, 5 for 14 from the field. He had 14 points in total. I know most of his points came in the first half because I remember he was hitting some shots for us that were crucial in that first half to stay in the game. Teresa also said Knicks tied the game at 81 points. Yeah. So that's what makes this loss even more heartbreaking because we tied the game and we actually had a chance to win this game, but we just couldn't come out with the win. And there's a lot of things that go into it, but judging off of the title from this live stream, you guys know who I'm blaming tonight, and it's the coach. We were down by 17 at one point too. Crazy comeback. We came back being down 17. Ben Simmons also said Grimes had good minutes when he was in. Yeah, he did. I think he had 2 threes in total. Let's check over here. He was 2 for 2 from the 3-point line and 2 for 2 from the field. Good minutes from him. Only 11 minutes tonight. Now that he has that bench role, his minutes are severely limited. They're reduced. He went from having, like 25 minutes a game or more than that to now 11. Potentially he could have been in there in those last few minutes instead of RJ as well. It didn't necessarily have to be quickly. It could have been Grimes. Grimes is a great defender as well. Ricky said RJ was bad. Unfortunately, he was. And I hate to go down on him because I've been trying to cut him so much slack. I've been trying to give him a chance. I don't want to go hard on him because I just want him to prove us all wrong. That's, if I'm being honest, I just wanted to prove everyone wrong. But you have to admit there's some games where he does play bad, just like everyone else. There's been stretches where he's played bad. And he just shouldn't have been in the game in the last few minutes. Exactly. You said it right there, Ricky. If you're going to take away one thing from tonight's game, it's exactly what you said. Thibs should not have subbed him in for IQ. Dumbest decision ever. That's the conclusion the only conclusion or the number one conclusion I can make from this game. Jonathan said, and to be honest, Quick should be starting for Big D. Nothing against Big D, but Quick got heart. I know. Definitely, there's always going to be that thought there that Quickly should be starting. I'm here for it, but it's also like he needs to be with that bench unit at times because without him, our bench unit would struggle. We got Todd Gibson on there. We have Josh Hart, who sometimes, and like tonight as well, in 34 minutes, only has 4 points. So you're not going to get a lot of offense from Josh Hart. And if you take Quickly out of that bench unit and you're putting DiVincenzo would most likely lead that unit. It'd be interesting to see if we could experiment with it because I don't think Quickly has started yet this season. He started last season a few games when there was injuries and all that, but we have yet to see it this season. And with the way Quickly's been playing, he should definitely be getting more minutes. He should even be starting, like you said. It could be a possibility. I mean, you got a guy that has 22 points in 24 minutes, and then you take him out. And you're also limiting his minutes by every game. I don't get it. Dwayne said, where was DiVincenzo in the fourth? I also wonder the same thing because he was not there, and it just sucks. He was having a good game, especially in that first half. He hit a few threes. He was 6 for 10 from the field, 5 for 9 from the 3-point line, and has 17 overall, but He missed a lot of key threes down the stretch in that second half, in the fourth quarter, um, or the third quarter, and it really impacted us in a negative way. If he could just hit a few of those threes in that second half, it would have helped a lot. He did have a good game though, besides, missing a few threes in the second half. 17 points for him, and it was big time for us in that first half to stay in the game. He's definitely one of the reasons we were able to stay in the game mainly and come back from that 17-point deficit. Quickly needs more time on the floor. You're completely right. He definitely needs more time. I just said it. He has productive minutes. It's not like he's out there doing cardio like some of our other guys. Shout out Josh Hart. 34 minutes, 4 points right there. I'm sorry, but there's just some nights where we don't get anything out of some guys that are playing over 30 minutes, over 20 minutes. And then you have Quickly, who is clearly producing, 25 minutes in total, 22 points, 4 for 5 from the 3-point line. We just have to give him more of a chance. He deserves more minutes. He's doing what he can with the minutes he's getting, but he needs more. Salute. Joshua said, should the Knicks trade for more bench depth? We definitely should not be having Taj Gibson as our backup center. I'm sorry, it can't work like that. Taj Gibson's great, and I really appreciate what he did for us in the year of 2021. Going to the playoffs and all that. But he should be a third string center or power forward. He can't be our backup and be playing. I mean, he doesn't play too many minutes a night. Obviously, Hartenstein is playing the most minutes he can. He played 37 minutes tonight, which is crazy. We need to find a way to give Hartenstein more of a breather, because he can't be playing nearly 40 minutes a night. That's too much. We can definitely, if we want to add something to our bench, it should be a center right now. That's what we need. Yep. Quick went off with the mid-range, curl threes and drives. Yeah, he can do all of it. He could do the floaters. He could do the threes. His 3-point percentage, it's pretty good. It was great tonight with 4 for 5 from the line. And I would just say it's better than RJ, who was in those last few minutes. And you want to have a guy who is a good 3-point shooter in there, whether that be Emmanuel Quickly or DiVincenzo or Grimes in those last few minutes when you need those buckets, and also guys that are relatively good defenders. In those last few minutes, RJ did also give up a few threes, so he also struggled defensively tonight. I was really surprised when Thibs put him back in the game, honestly. Teresa said, IQ gives a spark when the starters get in a funk. He definitely does. I think a big reason why we were still in this game is because of him tonight. What he was doing for us offensively, giving us buckets. He kept us in this game, and we were down by 17 at one point. So the fact that we came back, we even tied the game, we had the chance to win it. Big part of it goes to him. Randall had a nice third quarter, but at the same time went ghost in the fourth. Yeah, he did have a nice third quarter. I think we all saw how he was manhandling the Thunder, finally driving to the basket, attacking everyone on the Thunder. He was just bullying them down there in the paint, physically handling them. I love it when Randall plays that type of basketball. He is so great at it, so successful at, being physical. That's his true game. That's his game right there when he does that. I think in the first half, he struggled a lot. Not a great first half from him. 3 turnovers, I think, came from the first half alone from him. But in the second half, he finally realized I saw someone tweet this. I don't even know who the handle was, but they said Julius Randle when he finally realizes he's the strongest guy on the court. It's so true though. He probably was the strongest guy on the court, and he was using that. He was using his strength to get to the basket. We didn't really see it in the fourth quarter though. Fourth quarter was a different story. I wish I could check how many points he actually had in the fourth quarter, but I can't see that on ESPN. Overall, though, 25 points by him, 7 for 15 from the field, and 1 for 4 from the three-point line. We need to start talking about what happened to Randall's three-point shot, though, because last year Julius Randle was a great three-point shooter. I think that's one of the things that elevated his game so much and made him a 25 and 10 guy, and made him into the All-Star game and such a elite player last year. But this year his three-point shot has not been there at all. I'm actually going to check what it is right now. Because if you guys know, John Starks used to hold the the record for the most threes in Knicks season, and then Fournier broke it, and actually Julius Randle broke it last season. I don't think anyone really mentioned that, but he did break it, Stark's original record. So he shot over 200 threes last season. This season, his three-point shot has not been there. And I think it's really just, it's obviously impacts us because we need to be a better three-point shooting team. So I would love if he could just finally make his threes. He's getting a few looks a game. He's not taking as many as he did last year, obviously, because he's driving to the basket a lot more this season, which I love. But I'd love it if he could find his rhythm from the three-point line again. Gideon said Brunson didn't have a true impact tonight. I think that's what he's saying, true impact. Yeah, sort of an off night for Brunson. In 37 minutes, he only had 24. Not only, but he had 24. He was 9 for 19. It was quiet in the sense that he just didn't hit those big buckets and, didn't really lead us that much. But he was 1 for 5 from the three-point line, which is where he struggled because we know he's been shooting great from the three-point line this season, and usually he'll grab a couple each game. But 1 for 5 for tonight. And he only got to the free throw line 5 times, which usually I think he gets there a little bit more. I think the first time he shot free throws was in the second half, or I remember them mentioning that on the broadcast. His first free throws of the game came a little late. So he wasn't getting the amount of calls that he thought he deserved. You can see it. A lot of guys were complaining out there. He was complaining. Randall, a lot of guys. And I definitely think there were a lot of missed calls. He should be getting more than 5 free throws a night. He's our 1A. I mean, he's their best player on the team, and he's definitely drawing the contact, but the refs are missing it. Gideon said, I don't understand why Thibs didn't give IQ more of a chance. Me either. I have no idea. I really don't, because it's not just this game where this has happened. There's been multiple games where IQ's minutes are limited, or IQ gets subbed out even though he's having a good game. He's producing. I really have no idea why Thibs makes these type of substitutions. He also said New York signing Taj Gibson was dumb and wrong. At the time, I didn't entirely think it was dumb or wrong, because I didn't think he would be having to play the role that he is now. When we signed Taj, I was a little happy just because I thought he was going to be a locker room guy, a guy at the end of the bench, especially a veteran, someone who could lead all of our younger players, because we don't really have that many veterans on the team. I mean, like Fournier, I guess, is our veteran, but Taj, I expected to come in here and really settle down our guys when we needed them to be settled down. And now he's our backup center. It's crazy how things work out. But we need to change that because it's not working out too good. You had, I literally tweeted tonight, you had Chet guarding, not Chet, you had Taj guarding Chet Taj is 38 and Chet is 21. It wasn't a good matchup. I know Taj didn't play a lot tonight. He only played 10 minutes, but still, we need a better backup center. And then Gideon went on to say Nick should sign Howard, Sanders, or Whiteside. I definitely think it should be looked into. Dwight Howard is a big one that I hear everyone mention. I haven't heard of Whiteside yet, but I think that the Knicks signed someone from the G League. I'm not even sure their name. I think it's a guy from Europe. They signed a guy from Europe who's from Europe, and he's a center. I think he's huge. I just don't know why the Knicks aren't really giving him a chance yet. I think, it'd be perfect to see how he plays and give him a few minutes. Let's see a few more comments. Oh man. I think my laptop is running a little slow. It looks like the stream is lagging. This sucks. Just like this Knicks loss. Paul said, "You paying IQ 100 million though? He's playing solid now, but goes quiet in big moments and playoffs." Yeah, well, it's tricky. At the beginning, just pay IQ